Hello, powerful one. Welcome to this edition of Final Growth to Sezwa Elimihe, and today it is a handheld edition again. Okay, today we will be talking about how to achieve focus. There are certain practices that you must do every single moment of your day that will help you attain focus. Many of us find it difficult to focus consciously. Otherwise, all of us focus. The only thing is that we focus at the compulsive level. We are focusing on things we wouldn't normally have focused on. Therefore, we are focusing on things we won't derive benefit from. What it means is that our focus is a product of a program, a disempowering program. Right? Now, it means that it is inherited one way or another, in a manner where we didn't have a say or an intelligent input into the process of such acquisition. Our focus is therefore not productive. But today, we will be talking about how to develop productive focus. That is conscious focus. Because without focus, nobody will be able to do anything in this world. Because every experiences of life that we are having, we develop them, we create them by focusing our attention on them. If you are achieving wealth, it is because you focus on the mechanisms of your mind that is capable of generating wealth, capable of identifying wealth opportunities and then taking advantage of them. And if you are poor, it simply means that you are focusing on poverty generating opportunities. You put all your attention on it, you practice it, and you generate the poverty. All of these things are not actions of God. So we all end up blaming God when things are not working for us. We think it is God. It is not God. It is we. It is our inheritance that we pick from our environment, our families, that are generating all these realities that we find to be either savoring or unsavoring. But if you want to break away from it, you have to have certain knowledge. The kind of knowledge we expose on this channel are the kind of knowledge that can help. Now, the first thing is to develop focus. You will have to learn to focus on one thing at a time. One thing at a time. If you are reading, let all your attention be on reading, nowhere else. The best students are students who are able to achieve laser pointed focus on any task they are doing at any time. And then when you are having a discussion with somebody, focus on any state you are in that discussion. For example, it comes to a time in a discussion when you need to talk. Then when that time comes, my friend, focus all your attention on talking, on selling your idea, on selling your position to that person with love, with respect, with dignity. Respect the dignity of that person when you are talking. Lock your attention on that person. Look at the person. Let the person see you, that you actually are making them the center of your universe at the time you're talking. Don't be talking with the feeling that this person is not catching what I'm saying, with the feeling that what is he thinking right now, with the feeling that what will he say after I finish saying this thing. Don't be defensive. Just go ahead, say what you have to say and say it nicely. Attention. And when it gets to the point when the person is now talking, my friend, listen. Listen to your interlocutor. Listen to your partner. Hear what they have to say. Don't start judging them. Don't start being defensive of your position. Just focus on what they have to say. Hear them out. Sense them. Feel them. Understand where they are coming from. Empathize with them, but at least sympathize. But don't judge them. Don't condemn them. Don't try to win them. A lot of the times when we discuss, we think we want to win in the argument. It doesn't make sense. Focus your attention on whatever you are doing. Leave the outcome out. In fact, a life that is geared towards attaining focus does not care about outcomes. It focuses on the inputs. What am I doing? And yes, I have an outcome in mind, but I'm not going to kill myself over that outcome while I'm doing the process. Focus on each stage of the process as if it is the last and the only stage in the process. Do it right. The next stage will be easier for you. So learn to listen to people. Learn to talk and focus your energy and your attention on when you're talking. The second thing here is that you should learn to stay silent when you are not doing anything. When you are not reading, when you are not cooking, when you are not working, when you are not with people, you are alone. My friend, nothing beats silence. Just stay silent. When I mean silent, I mean in your head. Stay silent. And one of the steps that will help you to stay silent is the human mind wants to be engaged in activity, doesn't want to stay silent. Therefore, give the human mind a task. You can be listening to your heartbeats. Focus on your heartbeats and just listen. You can be counting it. Focus on your breath as they go and come out. Another thing that I will say is that you can begin to talk to every part of your body. Talk to every part of your body. The reason I'm saying that you stay silent is that you should be in the moment, in the present. Therefore, you can look at all the cells in your body, all your body part. You can start from your toes all the way and begin to be grateful to them for being part of you, for doing what they are doing for you. Your heart, your liver, your kidneys, every part of your being. Send them love, send them blessings. What you stay with stays with you. What you pour love on returns love to you. So to be healthy, to be stronger, to be happier, you can give blessings to your body parts. It's another thing. The way you know that you are spending your time well is that when people come into your space, you are able to relate with them freely. You don't see them as imposing upon you. You become much more tolerant. You become much more friendly. You are easier to give blessings to people than to send curses. People who don't spend time with themselves, who spend time with negativity, who spend time with the world, they are the ones that are very quick at cursing, at abusing people. I am Osezwa Anthony Elimihe. You know me. I am in the game of helping you grow from inside out. That is the dream. When you are with somebody, or maybe one or two people, or one person, and there's no need for you to talk, there's nothing to discuss, don't be killing yourself about trying to raise a discussion, trying to force up a discussion. Learn to be quiet. Being present with people or being present with somebody doesn't mean that you have to talk to the person. Not talking to somebody doesn't mean that you are disrespectful or you don't like them. When the person is quiet, respect the person's quiet. You have to be non-violent in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. If somebody wants to be quiet, to be alone, why will you want to impose yourself upon that person? When you do that, you are being violent. You are intruding upon the person's privacy. You don't need it. There are two levels of privacy. There's the privacy of the mental space, and there's the privacy of the physical space. People get much more offended when you impose upon them on their mental privacy, because that is where creation is happening. You are disrupting their creative process, and nobody is happy with that. So learn to respect people's privacy. And when you are still with somebody in a bus, in a car, in an office, in a space, under the tree, wherever that place is, and the person just wants to be quiet, keep quiet. When you feel like you must talk when you are with somebody, it is an expression of your low self-esteem. It simply means that you are one person who has never had an alone moment with himself or herself or themselves for a long time. Learn to be alone. Learn to be quiet. Learn to respect people's alone moments. Okay? It doesn't hurt to stay quiet. It doesn't hurt to stay calm. Like I said, when you are alone, count your breath if that's what you have to do. The next thing is practice locking your mind on high concept ideas. Things that are not really that mundane. I'm not talking about fantasy. I'm not talking about fancy. I'm talking about imagination. See, in fancy or fantasy, what you are doing is that you are taking off from a position of lack, a position of not having. There are things you would have loved to have that you think you should be having, but you are not able to have them. And you have come to the conclusion somehow that you cannot have them. The only way you can have them is to just fantasize about them. By doing that, you are foregrounding and solidifying your non-havingness. That's why destinies are delayed, destinies are killed, because you are not using imagination to approach your life. Instead, you're using fancy, and fancy or fantasy simply says, I have not been able to get this, but let me just dream about them. Let me just dream them away. And that is it. You are eating the seed that would have been a tree, that would have given you flowers and fruits and more seeds later on, by just feasting on them. How do you do that? How do you separate from creative visualization and fancy and fantasy? It's simple. Creative visualization is that you use ideas, you use imagination to create what you want. That is, you are creating it because you believe you can have it. You believe it is possible, then you are creating it. You are creating it with joy, you are creating it with gratitude. And when you finish the creation, you leave it, you hand it over to the universe, and you walk away. But in fancy, in daydreaming, you go into the thoughts with, I don't have it, I wish I had it, but you see, what if it happened like this? What if it had happened like this? What if it is like this? And you go into the whole discussion, and then you enter into the outcomes. You start enjoying the outcome. In imagination, you don't go into outcomes. You have an outcome in mind, then you walk around the process of getting it, and then you leave it, let go. Then you move on to the next thing. But this one, you spent a whole day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 month, 1 week, dwelling on that thing from the level of consumption, not from the level of creation. You want to enjoy that which you think you can't have, which you think you should have had, but you can't have. So that's it. When I say dwell on high concepts, I'm talking about ideas that are beyond the physical, that are beyond the ordinary. For example, the concept of God. Is there God? How do you come into existence? Am I matter or am I spirit? What is mind? You see, when you are questioning things, you are opening rooms for knowledge. When you have concluded on things, believing that you have an answer to them, you've locked the possibilities of new things. This is what happens. Whatever has been acquired, who is acquiring? The intellect is acquiring, because you are going to look for information. And when you conclude that it is QED, it is done, it is concluded, this is it, there is God. God is green. God is massive. God stays in the fourth heaven or in the third heaven. You've concluded that that is what it is. Know what then happens? The ego takes it and builds a fence around it and locks it in. Any idea that comes tomorrow that antagonizes that particular knowledge, the ego will fight it vehemently. So you are locking yourself in from new knowledge, from expansion and growth when you conclude on things. That is the problem and the disease of every single religion. Somebody tells me, you are not a Christian. Why do you always quote the Bible? You only pick a portion that serves you, that suits you. I say, yeah, that's what life is all about. There are so many trees in the whole universe. There are so many plants. We don't eat all of them. We pick the ones that we want and we go. We don't eat all. The same way, people have all kinds of things they've said about life. They said about God and all of that. Are they all true? How can they be? There's a book written by Lao Tzu. They call it Tao Te Tong. In the opening chapter of that book, according to the review I read, it says that Lao Tzu wrote that the truth that is spoken is a lie. The truth that is written is false. Why is he saying so? Because truth is infinite. Truth is impregnable. It is who really can understand, who really can grasp the truth? Then somebody comes and writes a book about God, and they say everything to be known about God is in that book. That is all. It is like one said, bottling the ocean. Can you put the ocean in a bottle? If you can, then of course you can describe God in one book. You can conclude about God in one religion. It's not possible. Therefore, we are not closing our mind. When I see something that is right in the Bible, I pick it to to the when I mean right now, I'm talking about right to the level of development that I have attained so far. Tomorrow I can dump it if it's no longer working for me. That's who I am. If I see something in the Bhagavad Gita which I have read from cover to cover, I will take it. If I see something that is worth my while, that is progress oriented, that is growth centric for me, in any book of any religion that I come across, I will take it. Because I am human. Whatever has been done on this planet, in this world, is done for me. So this idea of fighting, defending a religion, thinking that this is ours, it is our book, it is our it's madness. It is totally insane. Okay, sorry, I'm not insulting anybody. It is not proper. So high concept now simply means dwell on things that are high. Take your mind away from racism. Take your mind away from political hooliganism. Take your mind away from ethnicity, from tribalism, things that are in this lower world. Take your mind to something that is beyond, something you have no answer to, and open up your mind towards it. Then the other thing is, take this high concept. You can take it from the top and break it down, or take it from down and break it up.